Welcome to today's episode of ArtsTalk, where culture speaks for itself. I'm your host, Mafokate, and today we are diving into something critical: how our arts sector is governed, who holds power, and what the future should look like, from the portfolio committee to the local councils. And today, I'm not alone. I'm chilling with my CCI analyst, Thami akaMbongo. Manzana.
Hey, man.
How are you, my brother?
No, I'm good, Mr. Mafokate.
Yo, we're going deep today.
Eish. And
We're
it's
going
amazing.
deep today.
It's amazing because this week I've written about 2 articles. One, it was the open letter, obvious, to you. The second one.
And thank you for that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are scared to say some of the things that you said.
Sure.
And I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for that.
Yeah,
letter.
and it's coming from a good place, you
Yes,
know, the work that we have done with you. And a lot of people might think, oh, God, I'm biased, but I really mean it. Yeah.
You know, I'm one of those people who would say, who cares?
Yeah, that was. And then the second one, which we published this morning, it was, do we really need Department of Arts and Culture? Yeah, but I'll go deeper when we dive
Maybe let's
into
do
that.
this. Let's start with the portfolio committee.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Why is there a portfolio committee?
Obviously, now we've got a Department of Arts and Culture, which is mixed with sport. In all the departments of government, they are portfolio committee that does the oversight in all of them, about to make sure they are doing the work. So when one is not happy with the minister or the department, we understand, you've got their principal that you can go and engage and say, I'm not happy about this. But when it comes to in other ones, Mr. Mafokate, whether health and education, abantu who are involved in that sector, they are really engaging the portfolio committee. But in our case, in arts and culture, there are very few people who engage thoroughly with the sports.
You know why I'm asking?
Sure.
Why is there a portfolio committee, more especially in terms of sports, arts, and culture?
Sure.
I see you guys every time there's a portfolio committee meeting, you know, in WhatsApp groups, you are celebrating how they ask questions.
Yeah.
And today here you're saying, are they really doing the right thing? So what is it that you guys are forever celebrating?
No. Remember, okay, we're going to talk about the current one. But when the portfolio committee is asking the right question that speak to the sector, we understand, obviously the sector will be happy. Because some of these things, you ask question to the minister, you ask question to DSEC senior officials, they don't give you answers. But if you manage to get your answer, your question, about the portfolio committee, then you are going to get the answers that are needed.
Are you always satisfied with the answers that they give, more especially with the questions that you might have asked before or the industry asked?
In some, you are happy. In some, obviously, there is no clarity that is given. You understand? You are not happy fully. But I don't know whether it's a problem, Ukuti. We don't have enough time to engage with the portfolio committee before those meetings. You understand? That to really go deep into the questions that we want to ask. But in some, I was happy, but most of them, I'm not happy.
So when you ask those questions, I always ask a question with an intention to get information.
Sure.
And the knowledge that I get, I might use it to advance something, a certain agenda.
Yeah.
And would you say, with what you have noticed with the portfolio committee of sports, arts and culture, those things that are always asked and the debates that they always have they ever realized any achievement that you would be proud of or that you can actually mention in one of your articles?
Yeah, I would say, like, for example, if we look at the Manzana golden economy, obviously the people that match us, we are part of it, you understand? We haven't still got an answer, you understand, from the minister based on that, but the minister has provided answers to the portfolio committee. So you see the power here, portfolio committee.
Also, the minister did provide those answers to the portfolio committee.
The portfolio committee.
Okay.
You understand that, but not to about the baby match.
Let's say the minister refuses to answer those questions. What would happen?
I don't think he wants to answer them.
No. Let's say in a scenario where a minister is asked questions and then they refuse to answer to the portfolio committee, what powers does the portfolio committee have in making that person answer?
But in this case, angisho bazowina, Mr. Mafokate, because they will say you have answered to us.
Yes.
You understand? So
Okay.
thina as artists sizohlala sithi asifumenanga i-answers
Yes.
unless we write questions as clear that you ask one member of a portfolio committee to ask in writing. They can get answers in a couple of days.
So in short, you are saying if your questions are vague, the answer might still be vague.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
If it's not clear, what is it? Remember now, but they are under pressure because they get questions from provinces, from different artists with sport, and they've got limited time to ask. So when the questions as both of the artists are not clear to the portfolio committee, it's useless.
And what happens in a scenario where you were answered,
Sure.
but you're not happy with the answer?
You make a follow-up question.
And then?
Up until you
Yeah,
get the
let's say,
answer.
I mean, okay, let me just put up a scenario
Sure.
here. I'm sitting here, I'm the portfolio committee.
Sure.
I ask you as a minister a question,
Yeah.
and you fail to answer the way I would want you to answer.
Yeah.
What kind of actions would you take as a portfolio committee if you were in my shoes?
But believing a proof that you understand Uguti, based on this question, supply the information that is needed. And most of the time, the minister, the development department will always say, no, we'll go back and check.
So it's not some mini kind of court. It's just to raise issues.
You can say it is court, but it's also meant to raise issues that are happening so that the oversight it becomes clear. You remember minister was having a wrong understanding of Guti. He thought he was not meant to attend all the meetings. And they were very strict to him, told him, Guti, you are forced. You must come and engage us because some of the questions, you understand that the department or even deputy minister cannot answer it.
But what would be the repercussions would you not abide by?
One of the things they said when they were not happy with minister, they said, as a portfolio committee, they must have a rule that is similar with NPO, NPC. If you are not attending 3 consecutive meetings, there must be consequences. You understand?
But what would be those kind of consequences?
Remember, if the portfolio committee for no punish a minister is a punish also the sector, they cannot approve a budget of the department. You understand?
So it's a catch-22 situation.
It's a catch-22 situation. Hence, you are having portfolio committee members that are coming from different political parties. Because also remember ministers are just political heads. You understand? So, by go within the GNU, maybe MK party will be against certain things, EFF, because they are not part of the GNU. But it's costly for the GNU members, you understand, that to keep on voting against one of their own.
Yeah, because, it's more especially in a case of a GNU,
Sure.
Where there's a government of national unity.
Sure, yeah.
And then, doesn't it compromise the artist?
In some cases, it does a lot. But I think I mentioned in one of the shows that we had, the difference with this one, the GNU, throughout 1994, most of the time we had ANC ministers, we had ANC chairperson of the board. So it was easy. But now it's tricky. You are having a minister that is coming from PA, you are having a chairperson that is coming from TA. And if you look at the numbers, like DA is having, because it's about 11 people, and then there's 3 alternative people that will come in and out. But if you look at political parties, DA is represented by 2, PA 1, ANC 6.
Wait, PA 1?
PA 1.
DA 2?
DA 2, yeah.
Okay.
And then ANC 6.
What?
And then MK party, it's 3. And then EFF is 2, Al-Chama is 1.
Wow.
So we are
and the minister is from PA?
The minister is from PA. And is only having one committee member. I think it's Mr. Malone Daniels, who is the chairperson of PA, actually.
Wow.
So you understand the discussions, this is about way too interested, because if the other one is just having one, and now you support Yabanye, we understand if you look at these parties, how many are part of government of national unity?
I think next time we delve into this topic again, I would want you to go look at the repercussions.
Sure.
Seriously look into the repercussions if you don't abide by what the majority demands.
Sure, yeah.
You know, I mean, you guys used to celebrate Liam Jacobs, and I used to say he's one of the up-and-coming smart politicians.
Sure.
Now, he's now an MMC of Joburg.
Apparently, Abati Bayamsa is a council, but you understand, they are ducking and diving, you understand,
Yeah.
to say, because there were rumors also online. Is it true Liam Jacobs is going to become the deputy president, is going to fill in? I think it was a confusion because obviously, because Kenny Kunene resigned as a council member, so the PA is supposed to send someone to
No,
replace
apparently
it.
it's Liam Jacobs that's replacing, that's taking that position.
The MMC.
Yes, the MMC.
That's good for Liam.
So you are smiling yet again.
No,
but
no,
what has transport got to do with you? Why are you smiling?
We need to understand that izinto.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is going to transport.
Yeah.
He's no more in your industry.
Later on, when we speak about the cultural and creative industry, why I was saying, Mr. Mafokate, we need to reconsider arts and culture. Arts and culture is always seen as a hobby.
Which takes me to the next topic.
Sure.
What does the DSEC need to do? What does the DSEC need to do to advance the CCIs?
Hey, it's a big one, that one.
Yeah.
Eh?
I mean, here's DSEC.
Sure.
There's the cultural and creative industry that's up in arms, forever complaining.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm DSEC.
Sure.
What do I need to do?
Okay. Mandikale, from what I was trying to explain in the article, Yoguti, do we really need a Department of Arts and Culture? Remember nowadays, we're not talking about arts and culture, we talk about cultural and creative industries.
And, you know, which is a bit frustrating and confusing for a lot of people. And I used to say, the arts and culture is supposed to be part of the DTIC. And people would say, you are crazy. But then a lot of the creative industry is controlled by the DTIC.
Exactly.
But you guys are forever just complaining about the DSEC.
Exactly.
Hence, I'm asking this question based on your article.
Sure.
Because your article is asking the very same question.
Sure.
Now I said, okay, I'm going to catch him. When he comes here, I'm going to pose the very same question to him. So we need answers or direction.
No, it's exactly. We have, hence I'm saying there's a big difference between arts and culture on its own and cultural and creative industry. A lot of practitioners are not even understanding this. You mentioned like the Department of Arts and Culture is responsible for cultural industries. We have in a mandate as a nation building, social cohesion and all those things. But when you look at TTIC, we have in terms of creative industries. We understand that it's a totally different setup. Hence, most of the artists, practitioners, in this case, they always think the answer zabo zikwi Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. Ngelo kasha, they are not there.
And that time you are taking minister after minister, minister after minister, but always throwing this word, creative.
That's why in Sichamicho, you're asking what needs to be done. We need to be clear, Mr. Mafokate, Guti, arts and culture, cultural and creative industry, and in building that, because I think even the artists as need, they say happy about arts and culture, but Bafile, and actually, I don't think Imali needs a Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. If you look at other departments like TTIC, even tourism, we understand that cultural and creative industry contribute with tourism, contributes with education, you understand, whether basic or higher education. So we need to relook Ogoti, because now the department, even the minister, they talk about cultural and creative industry. So what is the difference?
Yeah, but remember, I think we are at a stage or an era where to look cool, you need to mention certain things.
Sure.
And I'm not even talking about just the other side. We as artists,
Sure.
we are just excited. I mean, you know, not a lot of people were talking cultural and creative industries. I mean, if you remember with SIGA as well, we kept on saying cultural and creative, but then people were still just saying arts and culture, arts and culture.
Yeah.
And then suddenly now everybody's just saying CCI. The question is, does everybody understand what the CCI means?
I don't think they
If you
do.
understand what the CCI mean,
Yeah.
you know, we need to unpack this thing, either in a bigger platform than this, you know,
Yeah.
maybe in our other studios,
Sure.
where we unpack
And-
CCI versus arts and culture.
And you said something, you remember during Iposparat and all those things, organization like SIGA, who focus on the business of the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but while the rest is focusing on other things they are not seeing, and later on they realize that the cultural and creative industry is deeper. So I fully agree with you.
Yes.
It discussion nature. So that because everyone is fighting with arts and culture, Mr. Mafokate, hence Bazoti, there are many organizations, many structures. Actually, there are not many.
Mina, I think, Thami, we need to get to a point, me and you, where ArtsTalk
Sure.
does a dialogue where we unpack arts and culture versus cultural and creative industries. We need to have that.
Sure, yeah.
We invite the who's who of the industry.
Sure.
Whoever doesn't want to come, it's fine.
Yeah.
But we get there, we unpack it.
Sure.
We sit for a day, we have lunch, we sit and we say, guys, what do we need to do?
Sure,
Because the
yeah.
question I posed to you was about the DSEC. What does the DSEC need to do? But also, now it's turning back to us to say, what is it that we want to also do?
Yeah. Onyan said,
What is it that we need? Because we are also confusing
Sure.
the people we need the funding from.
Sure. Because maybe, unlike SIGA and other organizations that focus on the business aspect, as artists, we are not talking enough about the business aspect of the cultural and creative industry, which is a big problem. You are having leaders who don't understand the business side
Yeah,
of the
but
industry.
they're the ones standing in front
That's why
and
we see-
misrepresenting people.
That's why in Sicho, it's dangerous.
Yes.
You understand?
Hence, I'm saying whoever comes, comes. Whoever doesn't come, doesn't
Simshenga
come.
pal.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, we research, we
Sure.
talk to those that need to talk,
Yeah.
those that need to be learned. Others will come after.
Sure.
But it needs to happen.
Totally agree. So that's the starting point
Yes.
in fixing this
So
arts
we are
and
saying
culture.
now you are not going to answer what the DSEC must do.
No.
Your suggestion is what you think DSEC must do.
I think like unpacking, you understand that their role, revisiting a mandate. You know, some of these policies, Mr. Mafokate, zezakudala. You understand? Ziyanida review. You understand? We are still talking about 1996 draft white paper. You understand? And so many things have changed. We are still looking at the provinces based on what prior democracy was. You understand? So we really need to revisit, including the mandate of the department, to say what actually are you meant to do. You understand that? Because every time you ask Uguti, Kanti, what is the department meant to do now that we are talking about cultural and creative industry? Are we going to talk about nation building throughout? You understand?
Or we allow them to just stick to what they were doing best, which was sport, arts, culture, and recreation.
Sure.
Obviously, not forgetting heritage. And then we then say, where do we address this question of creative industries?
Sure, yeah.
Maybe we need to go vent
Yeah.
about creative industries somewhere else.
Sure.
We allow them to be in their space the way they've always been.
Yeah.
Because now we are forcing them to start using the word creative. But
Sure.
you find that some of the things might not even be fitting there. I'll give you an example. There's, in these 17 sectors, there's something called new media, where it's talking about advertising, it's
Sure,
talking
yeah.
about social media and all those things.
Yeah.
And one might say, is this even your responsibility as arts and culture? To be dealing with
new
social media, with
technology
digital
and stuff,
media?
yeah.
Because those are the questions we need to raise. We're not raising such questions.
Yeah.
But we are busy bombarding them with these things.
Sure.
You know, we need to reshape what the arts and culture should be.
Sure.
Whether should they take a little bit of certain things from the creative industries and
Yeah.
bring them to their side?
Sure.
Or we just allow people like your DTIC, maybe economic development, maybe small business,
Yeah.
to deal with those things?
Sure. Even it's interesting what you're saying. Like if you look at the copyright amendment bill, it's not with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture.
Exactly. Where
And
is it? Exactly.
And it's one of the big things.
Yes.
You understand that will
Our futures
assist.
depend on the copyright bill, but who is in charge of the copyright bill? It's DTIC.
DTIC.
We're talking about SAMRO, we're talking about SAMPRA, we're talking about all these things are controlled by who?
Sure.
So the big monies are controlled by DTIC.
Exactly.
But then you are now forcing the departments of sport, arts, and culture to be
do.
answering questions about creative industries.
Yeah.
So
That's
maybe
why-
it's about time they also say, wait a minute,
We are not
we
going to
don't
do
have your
this.
budget. Yes.
Yeah.
But the mistake they might be making is having those sectors.
Yeah.
Because once you involve those sectors, where are you going to get the budget, for example,
Sure.
to deal with new media?
Sure.
It's not that one only.
And you know,
I mean, you have a sector that deals with film.
Sure.
But you know big budgets for film come from
it's not
DTIC.
coming from a department. And you know, Mr. Mafokate, another thing Oboibuza about the department, I think we haven't cracked this thing your industry.
I'm sorry,
concerns.
but maybe they might come and say the film because of NFVF. They might still say that.
They might.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
with
and
film,
they will say-
yeah, with film they might still say
Yeah.
NFVF. But with a lot of things like your new media, the
Sure.
so-called new media, I don't know where it comes from, that sector.
Yeah.
That sector and maybe one or two sectors. We need to unpack maybe next week the 17 sectors.
Actually, yeah. Because when they started, one of the federation that I admire, it's SASFED, the film and television one, because they were much organized. And yeah, we must unpack it because
Yes.
I'm starting to ask myself, Oguti, is it wise for the government to start the initiative or support the industry too? How did SASFED start? Samik was doing amazing work. You understand? I don't know what happened and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you understand? We need to find the right formula. of
Hence,
it.
I'm saying, can we find a way, even if it's not next week, but I would
Sure, yeah.
agently say
Yeah.
we need to unpack the 17 sectors because that's where we might get answers to some of the questions.
And I must research and find out who's got the money so far, how much they got it. Because I get
Yes.
some sectors, they
Yes,
found the
because-
money.
yes,
Minister
yes.
said each sector is getting
Yes,
2 million.
yes.
You understand? So
And
who's got,
others
who's
haven't
not?
gotten
The update, yeah.
Yes, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, also when it comes to the government spheres.
Sure.
There's national, there's provincial, there's local government as to where we fit in as an industry.
Sure. Very good question, Mr. Mafokate. You remember last week we were talking about everyone is going to national.
Yeah.
And then we leave the provinces, we leave even in our local municipality. So I thought it would be nice to break it down. We understand how, like, for example, we know national, you've got obviously the executive branch, and then you've got the legislative branch. The other one is like president and your MEC. They sit, the ministers, they sit totally different. And then you've got nationally, you've got two houses, right? You've got the National Assembly, you've got Council of Provinces. But all of them, they go to a parliament. But when you come to provinces, obviously you've got your premier and MECs. But only in Western Cape that you don't have MECs. In Western Cape, you've got ministers. You understand? Remember,
In the province.
In the province, yeah. In the province, you don't find, because remember, Western Cape is having their own constitution as a province. So they don't use the MEC, they use the minister thing. And then you've got that provincial legislative.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And then locally, by a mix of the two.
But let me ask you a question.
Sure.
There's something called the MINMEC,
Sure, yeah.
which is the minister and the MECs.
MECs, yeah.
So what happens with Western Cape when it comes to the MINMEC?
It sends their own minister
Okay.
to the MINMEC.
And then what kind of powers does the minister have over the MINMEC? Does he control the budget that he donates to the provinces, or does he control everything that has to do with those?
You remember, you mentioned one of the most powerful meetings of the MINMEC,
Yes.
whereby the minister meets with all the MECs.
That's where our future is decided.
That's
One
where
would
our
think.
future is decided.
One would think.
But also, there are also underground things. Because if the minister is saying something and it's not binding, we are, like typical example, people will say no more SIFSA. But in different provinces, there are SIFSA
is still existing in
it's existing. And with the support of the MECs, not just, you understand, because it's there. So
But then who's fooling who here? Because if there's MINMEC and the minister says, I don't need this kind of thing.
Sure.
And then you go to provinces, this thing exists.
And actually, if I take you back, if you go to Western Cape, I don't think it exists at all. We understand that because the Western Cape government is doing ezabuzinto differently. We understand. If the
I'm curious to know what they do for the arts and culture. And you might find that the arts and culture industries that side are happy.
Western Cape?
Yes. It's a hometown, your home province. Yes. So tell us.
No. What we proposed in Western Cape was this thing of the confederation in all the 6 structures, because they've got the council and stuff, you understand. And a lot of artists are happy. But obviously there is that divide. You understand, racial tension is in Western Cape. But I don't think we complain as much as Kwezinyi we have Kwezinyi provinces. So maybe there is a winning formula as no funda Western Cape when it comes to arts and culture.
There's a lot to discuss, guys. I feel like sometimes 52 weeks in a year is just too little to unpack this industry.
Yeah.
So what do we do as a cultural and creative industry?
When we go to local, how many artists as the attender engagement in their local municipality? They don't. Are we using so far njemba department yethu Johnson Sports Arts and Culture kune programs recreation in our local municipality? We understand kune meetings that engage, look at the priorities for the municipality. Where are our artists in those engagements? They are nowhere to be found. We understand there is that thing like a district model. We understand that they use in all the districts of South Africa. How many artists know about that? Documents that talks about what needs to be done in each and every district of South Africa. Tinas is attending meetings are local. We understand that Sifuna song, all of us, we want to be part on discussing national matters. We have busy meetings all the time, Mr. Mafokate.
You know, Thami, when I listen to you, I slightly become a bit biased towards DSEC, that DSEC is the only one that's at least listening to the industry. Because the more I listen to you weekly, week in, week out, you never mention any engagement that you do with local municipalities.
Sure.
You never mention provincial engagement.
Yeah.
Unless I speak for 1 or 2 provinces that I see do something good.
Sure.
But every burden of the industry seems to be carried by national.
You are right. But we do also engage. Like I know in all the MECs I've written to them.
MEC is provincial.
MEC is provincial.
Yes. Yes. You've written to them.
I've written to them to congratulate them,
okay.
You understand, to find out, because I'm interested in what's happening
and
national.
What's normally the response?
Some will respond.
Do they even respond?
Some would
Hence,
not
I said
respond.
I'm leaning towards DSEC being a bit responsive.
And Batata, I blame for
everyone
who are not doing their work.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I listen to you guys, I feel like it's a little bit easier dealing with DSEC
the animal that you know. Yeah.
Which leaves the other two authorities, which is the local and the provincial authorities, a little bit more free.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you are right.
Because the burden is carried by national.
By national, everything. Hence, we said last week, all the artists want to deal with national, even with funding. You look at national, you are not looking at the local government and stuff.
Has there ever even been a march that goes to a provincial office?
If I remember well, I don't know, Sakai Free State, they did organize, but it's not like as big.
But what was the march about?
Demanding what they thought Uguti needed. Because I remember they were also against Makufe festival, believing Uguti is not benefiting the local artist. And they march, you understand? But I don't know the impact of it, if it's having the same impact when you are dealing with national matters. Yeah. And also, like, for example, I'm from Trakan State Municipality in Paarl, you understand? But I've never got any support or find out what are the programs that are done, you understand, that benefit the artists as a Trakan State.
But you are able to go lodge the complaints at national, wow. Where you can just walk and go lodge a complaint, you don't do it. You have to get on a plane, train, or a car to go protest at national.
Actually, Mr. Mafokate, when this is a Cape Town, we felt to go to abantu base Gauteng bane more better chances, because when you are here in Gauteng, you can go to Pretoria to the department. When you've got issues with NEC, you go to any. You understand?
What stops you from going to your Drakenstein municipality? What stops you from going to your provincial offices in town? They're in town, eh?
Yeah.
Next to ICC.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are
it's
in
just
town.
there.
Kaloga ndicho si relocate ngosihlala lapha.
Nisababelungu.
No, Mr. Mafokate. But you've got a point. You understand, in terms of what artists were not doing enough to engage the local government, or at least to find out, is there a budget and what this budget is going to do. You understand, a provincial. We are all focusing on national matters rather than provincially and local, which is sad.
And talking about that, I want to deviate a bit.
Sure.
They said there's a national indaba where the government is just going to discuss issues.
Oh, yeah.
National dialogue or something?
A national dialogue.
Yes.
Actually, I also had an engagement with Dr. John Kani, because he's also part of that.
Wow.
And he was interested to find out what are the needs of the industry, because apparently they set up each and every sector, they speak for their sector to say our sector needs A and B and C.
So
and
they
D.
chose people for our sector.
The president and his team chose.
Yes.
But what would you, Mr. Mafokate, imagine if the sector knew how to engage with the people so that it becomes the voice of the sectors. You understand? Where are these 17 sectors in this discussion of national dialogue? Because they were going to submit, you understand? Kubuzwa Tina, we are not part of the 17 sectors. You understand? But we submit to what would you like to see? You understand?
How many people from our creative industries?
Who?
Creative and cultural industries? Or is it arts and culture?
You're feeling confused. But we'll check. I think the number of artists, people that are coming from the sector that are there, I think maybe 3 or 4 that are part of the national dialogue. Yeah, maybe we must also get an update.
It's about John Kani and who?
I forgot the other names. But
so meaning we need to, one way or the other, find a way of sending the message to them, should we need any other thing to be said in those meetings.
Yeah, wow. And I think their next meeting is next month or something.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are not meeting every day.
Okay. That's very interesting. No, I need to, we need to always take it a step further.
Sure, yeah.
We need to go deep.
Yeah.
We can't always be discussing, last week we were marching, last week you were not marching. Yeah. I'm grumbling about somebody being paid. Or, No.
Yeah.
Let's go deep. We call you here because you are an expert. We call you here because you are an analyst. And we need to go deep. We're not going to sit here and hold back.
Yeah. And we've been getting good responses from people because they learn a lot from each and every episode that we do. You understand? We're not complaining about the industry, but we're, like, for example, we're fixing the industry. We are talking about some of the people who are artists, especially
we're not
the
here
young
to
ones.
destroy. We are not here to criticize. We're here to fix.
ArtsTalk is not about that.
Yeah.
We're speaking matters the arts.
Yeah, and unpack them. If we are wrong, we apologize. If we are right, we need to pat ourselves on our backs and say, yeah, we got that one right. But we are going to keep on doing it.
Yeah. And we say Skolwin.
Yeah.
I must say each and every episode we do, we must go and do a proper research, you understand, and find out. But I'm enjoying it too much.
No, thanks a lot, Thami. And I'm not too sure if there's any other thing. But I'm posing these two challenges to you.
Yeah.
Next week for us to try and unpack the 17 sectors.
Sure.
In terms of arts and culture versus cultural and creative industries.
Yeah.
And challenge ourselves to organize a dialogue of arts and culture versus cultural and creative industries.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know when we're going to do that, but ArtsTalk must do that event.
I like that, yeah. Maybe out of that, we can be able to submit something to this national dialogue. No one knows.
And we're not imposing ourselves. We are just here to talk arts. And like we always say, this is where culture speaks for itself. And that was me, Mafokate, and Thami, akaMbongo,
Manzana.